Maybe that works. I don't know. It didn't let me do the landscape for some reason. It kept saying something about rotate your phone. All right. Well, unfortunately, I wasn't able to rotate it. So it is what it is. So here we go. We're heading out. The other stream didn't work for some reason. For some reason, it didn't let me do landscape, so I had to kind of abort that one. So I guess we're on the vertical mode. Not my favorite. Yeah. Yeah, I had to get off a little early. I had to send some signals to my Odinists. I had to send signals to my, put out the warning messages. I stood up on top of my roof making hand signals. I was hoping the satellites would pick it up and then transmit it to my other comrades. I'm not sure if it got it though. All right, I'll move this mic somewhere else. There we go. Yes, comrades. I like it when it's landscape better. Yeah, look at that. Look at Cindy got him. She nailed it, man. You're in trouble now, Cindy. You watch. The super sleuths. We're going to be all over that. Look what Cindy did. Look at the order that was. Reminds me of my tarot card days when I was... Thank you, Claudia Neubauer. How's your vacation going? I think I'm going to make a manual for you guys to put out the hand signals that we know the upper echelon wants us to use. What they want us to say, we don't know. But as long as we're using those hand signals, boy, will he get through the green light? Will he get through the green light? Will he get... Oh, yes he did. At a place called Sylvan up there, where you can go downtown, you can go to the zoo, you can go to... Yeah, there you go. I'm doing that with my hands right now, but it's not working. Because you can't see me. Oh man, the sun's gonna be right in your face. It's gonna blur out the camera, I think. I think the prosecution and all the investigators in the Delphi case are on the right track. They know what the hell they're doing. Just so you know. Hey, good one there. Yeah, it's probably going to be some traffic. Mainly because a lot of people go to the coast. Maybe this is like the last weekend of sun. It's supposed to be 70. It was 80 something today. And tomorrow it's going to be 70 something. Or 80 tomorrow and then 70 on Sunday, which is perfect. But I don't know if you can see way in the background those mountains. That's the coastal mountain range. You go over that and you're right there. It's only hour and a half drive, which is a joke to me now. When you're driving 11-hour days, I mean, hour and a half is like you barely notice you did anything. Yeah, the one thing I just can't, I can't think anything. It's hard for me to think differently than Keegan Klein being involved in the Delphi case, just based on the timing of everything. And I think that's that's probably the element that I want to know the most at this point, because I'm just really, it's mind-boggling. It seems like the ball got rolling into the final stages once Keegan Klein's name, actually the Anthony Shots profile, that was mentioned to the public. That seems to be sort of the beginning of the end of everything. Man, look at this traffic. Oh boy. Too many people moved up from California. Crazy. Yeah, so just think about it. They have this public service announcement by an Indiana State Police officer who says they want to know anybody who communicated with well, I think you can actually almost go back to 2019. But I mean, you can just keep doing that forever. But what's interesting now, when we look back at the Doug Carter 2019, guys and the new sketch and the video, was it shows you how much they had then. They were already aware of the vehicle that was parked at the abandoned CPS building. I thought they just wanted to know who the driver was because they had a suspicion on whose vehicle that was. I don't know if that's still something. I doubt it, because they didn't know, and they just wanted to know who the driver's name was. Well, they have the driver's name now. It's Richard Allen. But how did Richard Allen's name come to law enforcement's attention? Well, that's the million-dollar question. So, a year and a half after that, they have that public service announcement by the Indiana State Police discussing the Anthony Shots profile, and then it seems like some information was leaked to Wish TV, who almost immediately associated that with Keegan Klein, and maybe to put pressure on Keegan Klein. And then, Barbara McDonald actually went in and interviewed Keegan Klein, and we didn't really get to see anything about that, just little clips here and there. And then the murder sheet played a role because they stumbled upon, with quotes around it, who knows how they got it, they stumbled upon that massive document with an interview with Keegan Klein, and in that interview you could see how interested they were in figuring out who the other person was that was using his account, because the writing style was different, and they thought maybe it was his father. They just kept trying to allude to it, not necessarily saying it, but wanting him to say it, because they even used an example of a time where the father beat up a child, and he goes, "Wow, that person should get life in prison," or execution or something like that. So he must have known, but he seemed like he was oblivious to the fact that, remembering what his own father had done. And, again, that information came out, and then we actually got to see the transcript of the Barbara McDonald interview from Murder Sheet again. And then the Murder Sheet also, they put out a lot of stuff and did a lot of podcasts on Keegan Klein and various things going on with that. And we also, I think we had already seen, that's right, so Wish TV put out I think it was, what was it? 9 days after the murders, they did a search warrant, or maybe could have been, I think it was the 24th or 5th. Now I can't remember the exact date, the 25th maybe. They did a search warrant at Keegan Klein's father's house on February 25th, 2017, based on, I think it was, Kelsey noticed a like, something like that, like a like on a video or something, like a post that Libby made. And it wasn't somebody she knew, so law enforcement was interested, and then they tracked it down, went to the house, and it turns out that was Keegan Klein, and they found a whole bunch of child pornography in there with many, many devices, including a Samsung phone that he said he factory reset after he found it in Las Vegas on the seat of a taxi cab, which is just so far-fetched it's almost unbelievable. They have that was early on, but even when I was talking to Robert Ives, they said, yeah, he seemed interesting, but we just couldn't make any kind of a connection while he was there. Right, but they had these subpoenas and search warrants sent out to these companies that are overseas, and then finally got back some results later, and I think that's what kind of led more to the Anthony Shots profile. They were probably aware of that profile in like 2018, early 2019, and then finally asked for the public's help to see if anybody had communicated or met the individual posing as Anthony Shots, even because they knew it was a catfishing account. Then, time goes by. It sounds like there's some deal. Maybe there was a deal going to be cut with Keegan Klein or whatever. And then there was this big news where Keegan Klein was taken out of. Before that, we had learned that Keegan Klein says he was in Delphi waiting in a Jeep for somebody. He also apparently did a search for the Marathon gas station, which is 0.6 miles away from Richard Allen, who comes up later, his house on the very day of the murders. Right? But then at some point in time, Keegan Klein was taken out of jail and taken to a facility at another prison somewhere, but he was interviewed by a whole bunch of law enforcement, federal agencies, likely regarding the child pornography ring that Keegan Klein's Dropbox account was associated with, one of the largest in Indiana state history. So they were communicating with him about that. And during that time, right around that time, they started searching the Wabash River. which is in the town that Keegan Klein, what is it, Logansport? I can't remember. That's not Logansport. Shit. I can't even remember now the town that they live in, but they were searching the Wabash River over and over and over, like literally for a month. They were searching that river. And even Doug Carter flew over at one point. But lo and behold, we just found out recently that a week before they stopped searching the Wabash River, they had already stumbled upon Richard Allen's name. They claim that they just sort of randomly stumbled upon it. Well, if that's true, and you were searching the Wabash River because you thought Keegan Klein was connected to the murder somehow, why did you keep searching at that point? You searched for another week after that. So my opinion is that Richard Allen's name came up during their interrogations and discussions with Richard Allen in a sort of a backhanded way where a deal wasn't cut on his behalf. And it came and led back to looking at something again. Oh, there it is. That's when we talked to him. Because law enforcement knows that they talk to every single adult male in Delphi. And they find out that Richard Allen, shit, he's lived there the whole time. We must have talked to him. Then they dig through the notes and find the reference to Richard Allen. And when they do that, that was like on the 21st of September. They stopped searching, 21st or 23rd, don't remember the exact date. But at the end of the month is when they stopped searching the Wabash River. And then just 2 weeks after that, they have a search warrant, and they go over to and interview Richard Allen, and he talks about how he had the light blue jeans, the dark blue Carhartt jacket, a hoodie with a head covering underneath it. He was there from, and that interview, 12 to 1:30 perhaps. We don't know for sure because the defense said that, and they're about as trustworthy as these YouTubers that we were talking about earlier. What are you guys doing in there? Can you guys even hear me at all, or? No, I guess you can. Yeah, Peru. Okay, there you go. I remember when I was there, but it just didn't pop into my head just now. So whenever it doesn't just pop right in, I know it's going to be a while. So I think that somehow Richard Allen's name got brought up by Keegan Klein. Keegan Klein is connected, and his Dropbox account is connected in some way. And it was also interesting that Pullman and Doug Carter were at the sentencing for Keegan Klein, where if he wasn't related, he just would have been a typical, sex offender wacko. I mean, what would be the point of going there? So instead, they're both there at his sentencing, and he got like one of the longest sentences I've ever seen for something like that. 40 years, and which, as I totally agree with 40 years, but you just never see that. So I'm kind of wondering if he knows now, wow, that's 40 years. Will he then come out and try to get parole earlier with some sort of a deal? I don't know. But, so a theory would be that Keegan Klein, his Dropbox account is connected to Richard Allen somehow. Allen is the one who found out that Libby and Abby were going to be there that day by communicating with somebody that was using the Anthony Shots profile. So he goes out there, he's in a hurry. When he gets there, it's at 1:30. Man, he knew exactly when Libby and Abby were going to be there, especially Libby. That's who his target was. He knew that she was going to be there. So he gets there, walks right past those girls, head down, he's focused. And he walks to the bridge and he's waiting. They're not there yet, but lo and behold, they get there like 8 or 9 minutes after he got to the bridge. Maybe 10 minutes. And a lady named Sue passed on the way out. and she passes them, the two girls, Abby and Libby. So the next person they're going to see is Richard Allen, who admits that he was standing on platform 1, just like Sue did. This case is so obvious to me, man. It's like, it's so clear. Now, what people want to do is have you look at things like Odinism. Here's the thing. I do not know if there's somebody else in the woods or some shit when he got there. But Richard Allen is the guy on the bridge. He's the guy that made him go down the hill. He's the guy that made it. He said hello. He said go down the hill. He took him over there with a gun, controlled him. He brought him there. He kidnapped them, and they ended up dying. Hence the felony murder. They can prove that he's the one who kidnapped them. And they ended up dying. Now, if he wants to implicate somebody else that was there, great. Now, that's where you bring in the Odinist people. Oh, wow, the Odinists. They were there too with him. Oh, wow. Okay, so now, defense, you're admitting that Richard Allen is also an Odinist. Okay, let's work with that. Right? See, there's really no out for Richard Allen. He's there. Okay, I'm not. This whole Odinite bullshit is completely just muddying the water with garbage. Complete crap. All right. Now, if that isn't super chat worthy, I don't know what is. Come on, guys, let's go. We got the rest of the weekend. Yeah. You say that all the time. Now, if you could see me, I would be doing the rubbing my fingers together, because that apparently is the super chat hand signal. Yeah. So the thing about what they're okay. So the theory would be that somehow law enforcement figured out. Without law enforcement involved, the theory would be that Richard Allen was communicating on the Dropbox account. He figured out that Abby and Libby were going to be there. Libby specifically drove by, got there, walked by those girls really fast, got to the bridge, had them go down the hill. He kills them. And then, is it possible, though, that one of the elements was that he was going to film what he did there, because that's actually a big deal in the CSAM world out there. And maybe he filmed it with the Samsung phone that we now know that Keegan Klein claims he factory reset after finding it on a cab in Las Vegas. And did he meet him near the Marathon gas station that day? Is that possible? Hey, thanks, Amber Mid. Did he? Because he did a search for the Marathon gas station, 0.6 miles from Richard Allen's home. So you might ask yourself, did he meet Keegan Klein or somebody else associated with, Keegan Klein's phone, because that's the phone that searched it. And then after the murders, he hands him the phone and the knife. So it separates the knife and the phone from the killer. I'm talking about the Samsung phone. So let's just pretend that's Keegan Klein or somebody associated with him. And then he takes the phone, and then he throws the knife in the Wabash River, and then continues on with the phone, and they take that to Las Vegas, and then they factory reset it after transferring the information, to whoever they gave it to. All right, you like that one? I think that's the reality. Thank you, Amber Maida. Probably won't be too long from now when the phone dies. Or not the phone, well, the signal, I guess. Thank you, Paulette Leonard. So what do you think about all that? That theory there? I think the phone's store GPS. Like if you're doing what I'm doing right now, like with a map, I think it might store that. Thank you, Georgina Stulicki. Hey, Georgina, when are you coming on and tell us some of your stories, man? You got some good ones. Ooh. I hate when you get the sun and it kind of blinks through the trees, you know, it makes me feel weird. Hey, thanks Callie Gal 3 and Jessica Shuba. She said, road trip, yay! Yeah, well, it might not last too much longer because as you can see in front of me, those are the woods. You start getting into these woods and it gets a little difficult, but I'll try. Oh, it's still working. And then, you know, everybody knows that through, again, the murder sheet, their information that they gathered on Keegan Klein's father, who at one point took his stepson, somebody not related to him, and bashed his head, like he was really young, his head into a toilet. Here he goes, right here. And then which is a strange thing to do in the middle of a fight. It's almost like he was sexually aroused by bashing his kid, and then, you know, he got that. And then another time he would chase his daughter with his, I think he was like in a motorcycle and she was running, and then I think she broke her leg or something. Is that what it was? It's been a while since I read those. Hey guys, down the hill. Hey, did you hear that? Ooh, 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 ooh. Oh God. Unreal. Guys. Ginger snaps. Ginger snaps. See, I think the way he says cable snap, it sounds very similar to just guys like that. But either way, we don't need to be voice experts. What we need to do is be ear experts. And when I say that, I mean because Richard Allen himself told us that he was there. Got there at 1:30, left at 3:30, and was wearing the blue jeans. Yeah, a lot of people have that clothing, but only one person was seen that day there with that. There was only one guy saw on the trail, and it was him. And he wasn't seen after. Yeah, that's crazy. We got it. We nailed it. Danger snaps. Oh, but there was more, but he deleted it off his Facebook page. Yeah, it's too short, but I mean, it sounds consistent. You know, it's like cable snaps down the hill. That's me though, so I'm just saying. What is this post-sentence interview? Oh, I never heard that one. That's right, it was on the murder sheet, right? What did they say in that one? I was going to go listen to that, but I never did. they kind of pigeonhole themselves. I think their listenership is, you know, they kind of did the classic, you cover these other cases, you're not getting any views, and then you switch over to the one, and then, oh man, it's amazing. But as soon as you cover anything else, it drops off dramatically. Yeah, I mean, I even see it on my channel, but at least I have a good, you know, 300-400 watching, even when it's just some random. So I feel good about that. Wish I could do it where you could actually hear what people are saying. Audio, the public has not. No, there's no more audio though. There's no more words that that's on the audio. All it says on the audio is guys down the hill. That's it. Her phone was off, like almost. It was only on for 43 seconds. That's how long the video is. And the guys down the hill part is at the end of the video, so there isn't any more audio of the bridge guy, unless it's like, I mean, I guess it was possible there was something he said where it was so horrific sounding that we wouldn't want to hear it, but it would have to be in this little window of time. You know, so there's a guy walking, he's way back there. And then he gets closer, and then finally gets up and says, guys, as he passes, pulls out a gun. They're like, he's got a gun, he's got a gun. And then he says, down the hill. Doesn't that make sense? Like, that's the order it went. Klaskenai. That's like the perfect name when you're just trying to come up with, you ever been to Klaskenai? I don't know what the hell you're talking about. What is that? What is it saying? Gray, are you driving? What? Driving in a way that could be considered flashing sign. What? That doesn't even make any sense. What a weird comment. Oh yeah, so I'm driving away with the flashing signs. Yeah. Can you guys even see me or hear me at all? Because I can see me or hear me at all? Because I can see you. It's tough. It's like right to you. It's tough. It's like right in the middle of the woods. Hello, hello. And welcome to the show. It looks like I'm dead somehow. Picked up again. Yeah, I get the joke now. Sorry, I misread the joke. I thought you were talking about the trees and the flashing lights that hit my face. But now I get it. You were talking about the Odin signs that I give out. See that, Gray? You're so mean. I wanted to hear the insult. No, I was already done with the insult. That wasn't really an insult. I said disconnected, and I went, oh wait, she's talking about the hand signal flashing signs. Yes, my fingers are crossed on the front of my steering wheel. I'm sure satellites can see my hands. That wasn't mean. Yeah. Now get rid of that one person up there, though. Thank you. Maybe the signal cut out intentionally. Did you guys ever think of that? That right when I was about to flash a signal to the higher ups, as it were, it went, yeah, I think that makes the most sense. So we're going to go through a tunnel here in a second, everybody. Oh, boy. Wow, now I can really get the signals out. You just wait, man. I'm going to start. It's going to be like, let's see. Yeah. All right, here we go. How in there's no way, man. No way, man. Wonder Twin Powers activate. That's what we should start doing. And I'll make a little hand signal and you say I'll say form of an eagle. And then you say form of an ice bucket. I always thought that was the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Like the Wonder Twin Powers, they always came up with the most ridiculous. An ice bucket? What? Of course, you're a form of an eagle, or hey, I'll get, because the eagle gets to carry the bucket, and then it goes. Wow, this is cool over here. I don't know if you can see that, but you probably.